They told her to bring $15,000. She did everything they asked, drove the route, tossed the cash, even held on to hope that her brother would be returned safe. Instead, she ended up searching for his body. This isn't a movie. This is Trinidad and Tobago in 2025, and this is exactly why so many say, never negotiate with terrorists. But when your family's life is on the line, when the police don't feel like real protection, what would you do? Let's break down the full story and explore why the Caribbean is stuck in this cycle of fear, desperation, and broken trust. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay with us because these breakdowns matter more than ever. Trinidad and Tobago. The dead body of a 34-year-old man, who was reported kidnapped the day before, was found by police officials in a garden in Guanapo, Arima, Trinidad on the morning of Monday. Police said that they have launched an investigation into this discovery and confirmed that the victim was killed after $15,000 ransom was paid. That sentence alone is why this story hits so hard. The family gave the ransom. They followed instructions. They still lost him. It's every Caribbean family's worst nightmare and proof that when you deal with kidnappers, there's no honor, no guarantee, and no way to undo that final moment. It was reported that the victim's Kia Sportage was later found abandoned in a forested area in Trinidad's Sangre Grande. Classic pattern. The car ditched, trail cold. No real clue who did it, and by the time police mobilize, it's already too late. According to police reports, around 10:25 a.m. on Monday, officers who were on patrol received a report of a suspected homicide, which occurred at Heights of Guanapo. Upon arrival at the scene, they found the motionless body of a man lying on his back in bushes, and he was later identified as Kerry Von Adams, a resident of Old Piarco Road, Red Hill, Dabity. He wasn't some big-name figure, just a regular man, probably like you or me, with people who loved him and a life he thought was safe. Following the body was found, the preliminary investigations revealed that on Sunday, a report of the victim being kidnapped had been made by a relative at the Maloney police station. The report claimed that around 12:45 a.m., the relative received a call from Adams claiming that he urgently needs $15,000 in cash. You can feel the panic in that call. It's not just about money. It's a cry for help one you can't ignore. And that's where the logic breaks. Because when it's your loved one, you stop thinking clearly. The relative suspected something wrong, which is why she called back only for an unknown man to answer and tell her to call again when she had arranged the money. This is textbook hostage play. Say just enough to make the family believe there's hope, while buying time to carry out the plan. According to the information, the relative retrieved the cash from her residence and contacted the same number following which the unknown male asked her to drive to Kennel Street. Arima, however, as she was unfamiliar with the area, she passed through Cocorite Road while being on the call. Here's where it gets really sad. She trusted the instructions more than she trusted the police. And in places like Trinidad, you can't even blame her. Because time and time again, families go to the police and still lose. The man then directed her to drive slowly and described the street names from where she was passing. Eventually, she threw the bag full of cash out of her vehicle when asked. The relative was then told to pick up her brother from Arima Boys Roman Catholic School. However, he wasn't there and further calls to his phone remained unanswered. They played her. And that moment, being told to go pick him up, expecting a reunion, only to be met with silence, that's a level of cruelty that stays with you forever. Around 9:50 a.m. the next day, a farmer visiting his garden at the Heights of Guanapo made the grim discovery and alerted police. Once again, it's not a high-tech manhunt. It's a random farmer who finds the body. This country runs on chance, not security. Later that evening, around 8 p.m., acting on information from an informant, officers from the Sangre Grande police station proceeded to a forested area in Macaulay, Melijo, Sangre Grande, where they discovered a dark gray Kia Sportage bearing registration number PDY 3747, which belonged to the deceased. Investigations into the tragic incident are continuing, said the police. At least the car was recovered. But that doesn't fix anything. The lesson here? You can do everything right and still lose. Because the Caribbean's crime response is too slow, too reactive, and too unreliable to keep up with criminals who plan ahead. Real talk. This case is a perfect storm. A desperate victim, a family with no faith in the system, and criminals who know they can kill and disappear by nightfall. This is why so many governments refuse to negotiate with terrorists, because when you give them what they want, they come back stronger. But let's not act like Caribbean citizens are negotiating out of stupidity. They're doing it because they feel alone. When police don't show up fast enough, when killers outgun investigators, what choice do they really have? This is the story of Carrie Vaughn Adams. But tomorrow, it could be someone you know. And until we fix how we prevent crime, not just react to it, this cycle will continue. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should families ever pay ransom? And what would you do if it was your sibling on the line? Like, subscribe, and share, because this breakdown could help someone see the warning signs before it's too late.